welcome to my YouTube channel. So this past weekend I took a Porsche GT4 to an autocross event. So if you don't know what autocross is, you typically bring your road car. Some people do bring race cars, but you can bring your street car. You don't need a license. Most of the time you do need a helmet, but essentially you can drive your car in a competitive environment where you're timed, but you're not racing against other people necessarily, so it's a lot safer. And typically you do these autocross events in a parking lot with cones, so you really can't damage your car and you can't, more importantly, damage yourself. Track cross, however, is slightly different. You do have that time trial style of running the event, but you're on a racetrack, so there's the inherent risk of going off. And it's definitely a good hybrid between a track day and an autocross event. The other added benefit is that you put less wear on your car. You're only doing between 8 to 12 runs per day, and these runs only last a minute, so you're only pushing your car really hard for a minute, which isn't even enough time to necessarily get everything up to full temperature, like brakes and definitely tires. So there were 4 runs in the morning and 4 runs in the afternoon, and we even had a little lunch break where we could do some hot laps on the main track. So let's watch the first run. Quite a bit of wheel spin. Just engaged ABS quite heavily. Thought I braked early there, but not early enough. Top of the hill's a little bit drier. This section's a little sketchy, especially if you go up. Taking it very tentative on the throttle. Rear still have no grip. And here we go in the last corner. Tried to take this wire line, but there's just so little grip at the fronts that ended up just understeering and delaying power application. Grip was pretty low. These are Michelin Cup 2s, temperatures about 60 degrees outside, so not really ideal in terms of grip. And obviously the track's so small, there's no tire warm-up ahead of time, even brake warm-up, so that was pretty sketchy, not gonna lie. But let's see if we can get any temp in the tires throughout the day, definitely towards the afternoon. Just need the track to dry out a little bit. Cool, so that's the first run. Just really a sighting lap more than anything. So here we are starting the last run in the morning. Track, you can already tell, is dried up a little bit. Definitely a bit drier in this entry. Big improvement in grip up in this top hill section, but this downhill is still damp enough that I took it quite easily. Grip is massively improved with this S section. Using a lot of maintenance throttle, which is partly lack of confidence in street tire and also because the car is fairly on edge. And there we go, there's the last lap. I'd say that was overall pretty productive morning. Lap times improved about 10 seconds through the morning runs, mostly due to track grip, but also a lot due to confidence as well. We ended up P2 in the morning after a Corvette Grand Sport. I think the guy driving that car was a 5-time Autocross national champion, so definitely knows what he's doing. He was also, I think, on Pilot 4S's, which was definitely an advantage in the morning, but as the track started to dry up, I think we definitely caught him a little bit in terms of grip. Definitely power-wise we're lacking, but that's autocross. So we're heading
Heading out for first run of the afternoon, running the opposite direction on the track. Looks quite a bit different actually. All the corners are the same, but just in the reverse direction. But it should be an interesting challenge actually. Now the track's completely dry, so we'll see what the grip's like.
So as you just heard there, this is my first run of the afternoon. It's untimed, so I'm not pushing. But this is definitely to get a feel for what the grip's like now in the afternoon and what these corners look like in reverse.
It doesn't mean don't give her hell, because I love listening to her.
Of course.
Yeah.
No other way.
Yeah, that's right. I like this guy.
Amazing. Still learning the corners a little bit, but grip is so much better than before, so I just need to get some temp in the tires. Should be good.
Not a bad first run. We didn't know what the lap time was, but it didn't really matter anyway. The next run is a first time run. Let's check it out.
So this is run number 2 in the backwards loop in the afternoon. This is our first timed run, so we'll see how quick we are so far. Peak G's reading at 1.42, which is pretty impressive considering the tires are still cold, so let's see what we can do now.
Pretty good launch. This corner is very deceiving. You think you can go into it flat, but if you try, there's too many bumps at the apex, you'll just get tossed wide. This is like a decreasing radius corner. It's very difficult to pick out the apex and still maintain speed. Brought a lot more speed through that kink this time. That corner is so much fun.
Yeah, definitely better than the practice run. Got a bit more temp in the tires as well now. Brakes were okay as well. Definitely haven't mastered the downhill section yet, so still more to improve for sure.
Let's see what we can pick up in the third run. So as I'm sure you can see, there's a passenger in the car. Won't be going for a quick lap time here, but let's see how much of a difference it actually makes. Launch was good. A little bit more understeer. Car's struggling a little bit in transitions. That was a big slide. Another slide. I'm finding the car's taking longer to settle from an oversteer or an understeer moment. Like, this is a lot more understeer through here. See how it is in the last corner. Banking should help us out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that wasn't too bad of a run for having a passenger in the car. Lap time actually improved over the last run, but I'd say it definitely affected the balance more than I was expecting.
A bit scrappy. A little bit scrappy.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it's starting to understeer a bit now.
Yeah, coming down the downhill.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely need to open it up a little bit more, because right now I'm just struggling through understeer trying to generate temp. And
yeah,
then,
it felt that way, I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it hooked up at the end of it then.
Yeah. Because then it starts building the temp, but it's already too late at that point.
Yeah. As you run more runs, it'll get more temp too, probably.
It was a bit more neutral this morning, but I think just now that the pressures are starting to come up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
I'm sure that felt pretty slow compared to your Corvette, though.
Everything does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But it's cool to see how, like, a real driver does it.
I wouldn't say that was anywhere near optimal, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a lot of corrections and stuff still, but
yeah.
no, that's cool. Thanks for the ride.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
So this is the last run of the day. Obviously I'm pushing for lap time in this last one, but actually in all the previous laps, I hadn't put the car into sport damping mode because usually for the street it's too much, and I figured at the grip level that the track was at, certainly in the morning and early afternoon, it just wasn't ready to handle the stiffer suspension mode. But I thought if anyone was going to be ready, it was going to be this one. The track temp was the highest, higher than it had been at least. So I thought I'd give it a try. And you'll see that it did not work. In fact, it was way overpowering for this grip level. Just check it out. Saw right through this early section. Fairly simple. See when we go into this high-speed stuff. Not too bad through there. When I hit the brakes, the car cannot recover from a slide. Also over this hill, so much wheel spin. Also here on this downhill, it's just skating all over the place. It's like driving on ice. I'm also having to be a bit more progressive on the steering on the entry.
That's the last run. I put the sport suspension on for the last run. See if the stiffer springs or stiffer damping would actually help, but I think it was too much for the amount of grip that there was. So we'll see what the lap time is, but it didn't feel promising.
Overall, the lap wasn't bad. It was actually a 200th of a second improvement from the previous run, but the previous run had a passenger in it. So I think it was overall definitely not an improvement. And in retrospect, I think I would pretty much always keep this car in the softer suspension mode unless the track grip was like crazy high with the track rubbered in, and maybe even with better tires than Cup 2s, like the Cup 2Rs or even slicks. But to me, it felt much better and much more balanced with the softer damping mode. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's really fun to do this event and really fun to make the video as well. So if you want to see more stuff like this, I plan on doing this while I'm back in Europe at the racetrack. I want to do something like this. If you want to see analysis of onboards and things like that, I can definitely do that. But yeah, if you find this interesting, definitely let me know in the comments. And please subscribe if you enjoy this stuff.